Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Otakuology Podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike, and with me as always is Jen Hardcore Graves. And today we're talking about Lazarus episode 5. I don't remember the name of that. I don't remember the name of this episode, Jen.
You could even say that I'm hard boiled.
Hard boiled. No, wrong anime, wrong anime.
Be like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about, hard boiled? I don't know what you're talking about. He's the hardest of the boiled eggs.
Right?
But yeah, I gotta say, I thought this episode was just kind of okay.
I thought it was cool, but I'm kind of in that field too. Pretty Vacant is the name of the episode.
Pretty Vacant? Okay. Yeah, see, I couldn't remember what it was called. I don't have it pulled up in front of me right now.
I was trying to do some speed looking.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll circle back around to it. I would say, but I'll mention this first. I will say probably the coolest thing is we got to meet one of the other hackers.
Yeah, which was... what was it? It was something popcorn.
Yeah.
Was it Wizard Popcorn?
Or Popcorn Wizard.
Popcorn Wizard. That's what it was. What it was. Popcorn. Which I got really big like Ed vibes from Popcorn Wizard.
I can't remember who I thought originally. But I was leaning more towards like one of those like anime fans that's like over the top, like they know every line from the thing and they know any dance move inspired by it, like those kind of like otaku people that double down on like their favorite show, like they know everything about it. If you ask them trivia, they're going to basically get like 100% on it.
What we like to call in the otaku sphere the weeaboos.
Yeah.
The weeby boos.
The uber weebs.
The uber weebs.
Yeah, I would say that's kind of what this person was.
Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah. No, I get you what you're saying.
So,
I'm rolling in what you're pooping out.
Yeah. But other than that, it was kind of cool too, since we had
Eleina.
Was it 2 episodes ago when we had the Doctor 505 or SOS?
Dr. 909?
909, yeah.
I think that was the last episode, right?
Yeah, okay. I can't remember.
I mean,
it was a good episode, so I was like, I can't remember if it was 2 episodes ago or if it was an episode ago, because it was really impressionable. So
I mean, it kind of blend. They kind of start to blend together a little bit.
Yeah,
at some points, like
I have to say, especially when you get this whole thing when it's like, oh hey, they're in a whole different part of the country, and you're like, the episode is about them going somewhere, and you're like, weren't we just in like Tokyo yesterday? And then you took a bullet train here. I mean, it jumps around like quite a bit.
I always forget that they're in the United States or established in the U.S. Like,
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, I always forget that they're like established in the U.S. and that's where they are a lot of times.
Okay.
Except when they went to was it India or Pakistan? I think it was.
You mean Istanbul, Turkey?
Istanbul, Turkey. That's what it was. Yeah. So we start out the anime. They're trying to find, what was it, the hacker that they're looking for?
No, they were trying to find the owner of the company. What was the name of the company?
I think it was Delta Pharmacy, I think it was called.
Yeah. And so that's the pharmacy that the doctor had used to create the drugs.
I think they were like making it as well, right?
Yeah, they were like in conjunction. It was that whole created by Dr. whatever. I almost call him Dr. Tenma.
Skinner.
Yeah, Dr. Skinner and
it's Dr. Tenma.
Yeah, I was like, that's not it. Too many doctors in anime, damn it.
I know, right?
So it was like that in conjunction with Delta 5 or whatever they're called.
Hapna?
Yeah. No, I mean in conjunction, like the
Oh,
pharmacy that made it.
yeah.
So they did that, and kind of sorta, and understandably, the doctor that was there, the head, I don't know if he was actually a doctor or not.
I think he was the head of the. I think he was a doctor,
Yeah.
but he is the head of the company, I believe. He's the
Yeah.
president of the company.
Yeah. So he kind of like, it was weird. Like they live at like a almost like an apartment complex thing, which I
Yeah.
guess it's for all the staff.
I thought that was like where the company was located.
That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering if the
Yeah.
staff live there too for the company,
Maybe.
because it was almost like a mall where
Uh-huh.
it seemed like, hey, in part of this we have a conference room, in part of this area we have living spaces, in part of this we have our actual labs where we test stuff. Like perfect breeding ground for a zombie apocalypse, honestly.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
But I think that's how this was laid out, and so they had to figure out how to get inside and
Yeah.
go see this guy, which he had
Which
to
we
the
didn't
teeth, armed with security and computer stuff and everything else.
which we didn't even talk about how they find the files embedded into like audio files on SoundCloud.
Yeah,
and
that
it
was kind of
was
weird.
and it was like they find them and they're like, oh, this is a weird song. And then Doug is like, why don't you open it as like an image file? And they do that, and they find, I can't remember what exactly it was, but it was something
They
for
they
Hapna.
they find all the documents for the test of Hapna.
Which, did you notice? What's her name? What is her name? Her name, the older lady's reaction.
Yes.
I forgot what her name is. I don't remember.
I can't remember her name either,
I
but
don't remember.
since you brought her up, that does lead us into a good point now.
Uh-huh.
I think we get it more the farther we get into this, but I really think that she worked for this company as well.
I think she probably did. I think she possibly had something to do with it, because you notice that Doug picks up on it.
Yeah.
He picks up on it like
Just
so hard.
just the way that she reacted to it, though,
Yeah.
I have to say I'm pretty sure that she is somehow related to this company, which would explain why she was able to kind of like know all this information on these other people
Mm-hmm.
to form Lazarus.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to look up her name, sorry. Hirsch. Her name is Hirsch.
That's right, yeah.
Hirsch. Yeah, no, she was like, oh, this is so and so for Hapna. And I was like, how does she know that?
Yeah. I kind of think, honestly, what's going to turn out for her is she's going to be Skinner's like right-hand doctor, but
Oh.
behind the scenes,
Oh, that
like
would be interesting.
the reason she formed Lazarus was to go find Skinner, knowing that she was a big cause of why it's all happening.
Here's the thing, though, which made me question everything.
Yeah.
Like with her, like we don't really know much about her, I guess, unless we look her up on Wikipedia. I guess which I haven't. But like
looked her up. We just looked her up for her name, guys. Okay.
we just looked her up for her name. Okay, just her name, just her name. But like, why did she pick these people to go look for Skinner? Like, we haven't got that reason, really.
Right. See, and the other thing is, honestly, like out of our list of things of what we've gotten, nobody you can say is actually extraordinary. Like, it's not like, and you may get this reference, but it's not like the Frosted team.
I didn't get that reference.
Okay, from the Seinfeld guy, the Frosted movie or the Unfrosted movie.
Oh, okay.
They form a team and it's supposed to be like the best minds or whatever. You get like a bicycle guy, you get Chef Boyardee, you get like all these random people, you know, but they're supposed to be the best minds in their fields and everything. And
Yeah.
I feel like these guys aren't those ones when you say that. They're not the best in their field. It was more like, you said her name was Husk? Paul?
Hirsch.
Hirsch. Hirsch picked whatever she could get on people that she knew were basically somehow convicted or whatever of different crimes that she knew that she could grab.
Yeah. We also find out in the intro that Axel took Hapna, but it had no effect on him.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Like, I didn't even know. I didn't even like think about that. Like, maybe why would Hapna not have an effect on him if it had effect on everybody else?
I don't know. See, that's the other thing, and I'm still on this part. I really feel like Hapna does nothing. I feel like, especially on this one, like, and we'll combine the last one a little bit with it. You know, at the end of the last one, we saw where we had the monkeys and the monkey died.
Yeah.
And they have this whole thing, and they're talking about in this one about the monkeys dying and everything, or the chimpanzees.
Yeah.
And I really feel like maybe something was swapped for the chimpanzees right now, just because we don't have any of that stuff. Like, we haven't heard of, and here's the other thing: we didn't hear about anybody else passing out.
True.
If the first monkey or the first chimpanzee has started, there should have been anybody that took it first passing out. Unless what we're saying is they did studies on these chimpanzees so fast that after half a month it came out and they gave it to people.
I'm really interested to see if Hapna is just like a placebo effect.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I really think it may be like generic Tylenol.
That would be funny.
I think it's just some kind of generic shit. And I bet what happened with the studies is they had this whole thing and they did it. Maybe this thing is something else. It's a different drug that they gave to the chimpanzees. And that's why the chimpanzees are getting affected. And it's basically Skinner going all in on his quote unquote threat of everybody that Hapna's going to do this. It's going to kill you off. And I mean, like we made the comparison before, I really feel like it's an Eden of the East thing where he's pulling the wool over our eyes and he's making the entire audience believe, hey, you know, this is what's going to happen. And it's really just supposed to be like the meaning of life. Like, you're supposed to enjoy this. And will you be the group of human beings that enjoyed your last 30 days or what you think is your last 30 days? Or are you going to be those people that basically turn around and are trying to figure out all this other stuff? Or what, like, how are you going to waste your time? I feel like is going to be the answer to this.
I'm really hoping, now that you said Eden of the East, that Skinner has a giant container filled with hikikomoris.
Oh my gosh. I mean, he might be able to get the girl and have the Johnny killer again. So
yeah, maybe. But yeah, so like they go and try to get into the facility to find the president. Leland tries to, use his drone for surveillance. It kind of dies on him. They're trying to figure out what to do with this building because it's like to the T, like security and stuff, like you said before. And like,
there's no way to get to the roof because there's no other tall buildings around it,
or no crane. Like, and Axel just walks into the building.
Yes. Which, when I was watching it, and they're looking at people on the camera, and they're like, "Who's that guy walking in there?" And it's Axel, and kind of like knows where they're at, so he turns around and gives them the peace sign and everything while he's walking. And you're just like, look at the cojones on that guy, man.
I know, and like I feel like everybody was like, "What the hell is he doing?" And he gets in there by like using his I think it's a phone that he has where he can like duplicate stuff.
So this is what I think. I don't think that was his phone. I think that was an actual key card to get into the building.
Well, see, here's the thing.
I think he pulled it off the girl with the dog.
But here's the thing: he's used something very similar to that in the last episode to duplicate the tattoos.
Yeah.
So that's what I was wondering, if it's like some kind of device or like a phone or something that has something on it.
I don't know.
So I don't know. I would have to go back and rewatch it. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the same one or not.
He gets in and he goes into the elevator and all the security guards follow him in there.
They do.
When the door was about to shut, I don't know if...
I just gotta pull this out. This is the most diverse pack of guards I've ever seen.
Yes. So diverse. Ethnicity, race,
gender, body
types. But here's the thing. When they go in and like you hear like a phone ring and stuff, and like I really thought like a part of the audio kind of cut out.
Yeah.
And like maybe I got this vibe, I don't know. The way it was framed, and like you see him, like the guy pull out his nightstick and he like kind of goes and grabs Axel's face, and like Axel kind of grabs him. I kind of thought the guy was gonna make out with him for a second.
I didn't know what was going on.
I was like, are we getting into some like BL stuff right now?
I was really imagining this being like one of those assassin movies or whatever, where the same thing happens. They all get on the elevator with him at the same time.
Yeah.
And then while the elevator starts going, that's when they make the jump. But I'm like, they started doing this way before that.
I think they do it like right when the door closes.
I mean, I think it's right before the door closes.
And like he's like, this is a pretty cool fight in a small like area.
Yeah, and this is a big elevator.
He is like choking them out left and right.
Yeah, he is.
With their like ties and stuff. And I was like, these are some of the most resilient security guards I think I've seen in anime before.
Yeah.
Because they just keep coming after him and stuff. And I'm like,
this was probably the most unrealistic fight, I would say, so far of the thing.
You really think so?
I really think so, just because of the different people. Like, let's just face it. The really chubby police officer guy or whatever would not have come back as many times as he did.
The girl came back, I think, the most.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to like really knock her out. And she never passed out. I was like...
No, he like chokes her out at the end with her tie.
I know. And then she's still like there. She's starting to try and like reach for him and get up.
She's just the most resilient out of the 5 I think there were.
I think there were only 4.
Were there only 4?
I think so. But like... it was crazy. And then you get where the doctor CEO guy is sitting there in his stuff. You can tell he's sweating, like he hadn't slept well, everything else, and he's sitting there and he's starting to look at something, and Axel comes in and puts his hand on his head, and you're just like, what?
Yeah, he uses that device he has, and he's like, turn off all your securities, we need to talk.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, shit.
And then I think he uses that thing where it probably feels like a gun handle.
Yeah.
So the guy's like, oh, I better do this.
Yeah, and he's like, look, we need to talk. And they all, like, kind of, show up on the monitor. Like, how did you get this information out? Stuff like that. We find out that, like, they couldn't figure out how to talk to Skinner after he, like, vanished. Yeah. And stuff. And... they put that out there to like see if he would find it, and so he could reach out to them and stuff.
Yeah,
and I think that.
Let me ask you this real quick. I know we had to kind of have like this list of events happen the way that it did.
Yeah,
but why do you think that they didn't go here first?
What if they didn't know?
I don't know. See, I feel like they would have known from some of the other places that they've already been.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's a weird, like, plot
to me, it just seemed really weird. Like, why would you go see Grandma when you knew about this and you knew about that? And why would you go see this place when you knew about this?
Yeah.
So there's just different stuff that I'm just kind of like, why would you have went here when you could have went here? And
Yeah. No, I mean, I get you, but I mean, we're only like a quarter way through the story, so
yeah,
maybe it'll make sense later. I don't know.
make it make sense.
But they end up like saying, "Hey, we need to team up and try to get Skinner."
Yes.
And what they do is they send out this thing saying, "Hey, we got a cure for like Hapna," and they send it out to everybody. Everybody who's like important in like the medical field, I believe.
Yep. And they invited everybody.
And they invited everybody. And they ended up even like making like fake samples of the cure to like show off and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I was like, okay, they're a little too into this, I guess. And they're trying to figure out like what exactly is going on. They're trying to like look out for certain people who are like acting weird and stuff. They have a couple people that they end up like not only say profiling, but like looking at and stuff. Which somebody ends up coming in and actually tries to steal.
I would say they profiled him.
Yeah, they tried to steal the so-called cure for Hapna, which that part was really funny. He was like, "Yeah, I got the cure. Nobody's gonna upcharge me for it." And they're like, "It's just saline water. It's nothing special. You're still gonna die."
Yeah, which I think it was just because that person took the opportunity since the lights went off.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like two different events were going on at once.
And we end up finding out that there is a hacker in the system.
Popcorn Wizard.
Popcorn Wizard. And she is like one up on Eleina and stuff. Like she has one up on her, and she is kind of making things really, really hard for them. Trying to, which I don't know, was she trying to get the info for the cure? Or what? I was really confused, like what she was there for. Exactly.
Why she was doing that?
Yeah.
She was doing it because she was trying to be able to get the cure. I don't know if she was doing it to try and sell it.
Like, do you think she was working with Skinner or what?
I don't know. I want to say probably not. I feel like it was independent.
Okay. All right.
And I feel like she was trying to get it to steal it from them. I really think Dr. 909 was the person that did all the other stuff that we knew about. And I think this is the third best hacker person that we find out about. And they are kind of in it for themselves. I think
they mentioned her in like the last episode.
Yeah, I think they're like an info broker.
Maybe that might sound about right. Yeah, which she causes all this havoc and stuff, and like causes all this disarray and chaos, like making things go off, making robots go crazy. She's a really interesting like antagonist.
Yeah, she is,
and she's not really like other antagonists that we've met.
She's not. She seems really crazy.
She seems a little crazy, a little flamboyant and extra like Edward. She has a pretty cool van.
Oh, yeah. I think that's where the extra part comes in too as well. Because, like, she knows what she's doing, but at the same time, she's doing it, like, so flashy.
Yeah, she's like, hardcore!
Yeah. I mean, and like she knew she could get away with stuff, and I mean, obviously she's got money just from the thing, but like she knew where to like park her van that way stuff wouldn't happen. But she's got a fucking satellite that looks like a mushroom on top of her van.
Yeah,
her van is like bright pinkish purple with little insignias on it of something. I mean, it looks like when you deck out an anime van. I mean, that's exactly what it looks like.
It kind of reminds me of the van from Onward a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
could kind of say that.
yeah, a little bit like the Onward van. But yeah, she gets one up on them, and she actually so like Elena ends up putting like a dummy file into the systems, which is
Yes.
like the dummy fake what was it called, the fake cure into these files,
Yeah.
and uses it to track where Popcorn Wizard is and stuff, and she kind of finds her for a little bit, but
She's able to track her.
yeah, she's able to track her, but then like she goes like off grid and
Yeah,
like
she's still able to track her.
I thought she went off grid and they couldn't find her.
No, she was still able to track her, but she was like, why is she in the mountains? Nobody should have service in the mountains, which is how she's able to kind of say, we know 100% she has a satellite affixed to her van.
Yeah, because they said like she was like at one point in the Arctic, I think it was.
It's in the mountains.
Yeah, but at one point they said like, oh, she could be in like the Antarctic, or I think it was Hawaii or something. And then like we ended up seeing her at one point in like a city, in a parking lot, and then we at towards the end we see her in the mountains. But she gets one up
I
on
don't
them.
I don't know because she's in the same town.
Is she in the same town?
Yeah, I mean the whole time she's in the same town on the mountain range
Okay,
that they have there.
because I thought she was like throwing her position off the like completely different places around the world at one point.
I don't remember that. I remember her throwing off the places by the walkie-talkies at the place.
Okay, maybe that was it. I don't know.
But that was all in the facility. But she's in like, she's not in Istanbul. She's in,
Wherever they are.
yeah, wherever she's at. She's in a completely different town even from them.
Yeah.
Like she's somewhere in Europe, and they're all, like you said, in America.
And we end up finding out that go ahead.
She does that, and then she throws her laptop that has this tracking system on it out the window, and that's when they lose track of her.
Okay.
That's why I was like, we know she's got to have money, because if she's going to throw a laptop out, she's going to have a replacement somewhere.
Yeah. And so they end up finding out that they're tracking, was it they were using the walkie-talkies?
Yes.
Was it the walkie-talkies to get in through the system?
Yes.
I think it was. And we find out that she bought completely new walkie-talkies.
Yes.
Or somebody did to get in.
She did it. She sent a notification to the guards of the facility
saying there was like a defect in the old ones.
Yeah, that they were still able to be connected to the internet from the outside. The new ones were supposed to be on a closed circuit where they only communicated with each other. And then physically, because of like the firewall defense, unless you were in the control room, it wouldn't happen. And what happened is the door opened and one of the guards walked in with that, thus being able to get close enough to breach the firewall.
Okay. And she gets through, and our episode kind of ends. Like, they're kind of left in the wind with, everything.
That's where she gets the thing, and she opens it up, trying to reveal the secret of this formula, and it says what our episode is called.
The Vacant.
Yeah, the pretty vacant.
Which is that Elena's name?
No, Pretty Vacant is a song or something from an artist. That's why when Popcorn Wizard calls her on the phone, she says whatever the line is that she said, that I love, and she said some kind of an artist. I love da da da, because that's one of the artist's songs.
Okay. I must have missed that.
Yeah.
So, I know this episode might be a little short, but what did you think of this episode?
I mean, I fully agree with you. I feel like this was good enough. Like, I don't want to say action wise. I mean, kind of more
It
like
was different.
cyber actiony.
It was different than the other episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to say it's the difference between watching like the computer parts of like Mission Impossible and watching like the A-Team. You know, last episode I would say is more like the A-Team. This one's more like Mission Impossible. You know, the all the computer parts.
Yeah,
Just because you kind of like you kind of know what's going on, but it doesn't seem like there's that much going on because there's not really any fighting going on. You don't have anything else. And I feel like, yeah, they tried to incorporate that into it with the like whole scene on the elevator. But it just wasn't like, it wasn't enough. It wasn't rolled out enough
yeah.
for a lot of it.
One thing I have to say is I think it was kind of interesting how they brought in this new antagonist.
Yeah.
Sort of, and it is very different, and it's something that I didn't expect. I thought we were going to get like another like mafia boss or whatever, type of thing, something more actiony. But I was very much thrown off with, oh, it's another hacker, somebody to go up against Eleina. I thought I thought it was kind of interesting. It wasn't like the best episode, but like wasn't like 100% like completely bored.
Yeah, it's more of like, I would say, a transition episode.
Yeah, which is not bad because we still got little nuggets of stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure the next episode will get more of what it is. Like, it was the lead up for that. It's going to be an AB episode.
Yeah. Which I'm interested to see where it's going to go in that aspect of like how is this going to fit into the overarching story and stuff. And I really want to see like how like Hirsch, like what Hirsch's deal is and stuff, because they really like, I don't say opened a can of worms, but like they really made it obvious that, oh, she knows more than what she is letting on.
Right.
Because they were like, how could she know what these papers are and stuff? And
well, and now we want to know the thing about the chimpanzees. So
yeah, true. Which they were like, finally, like one of the chimpanzees died, and
yeah. See, and you would think though too, we would have gotten something at the end of this episode that said like another chimpanzee died or something like that, right? I'm really wondering if maybe all the rest of them will live. And the thing that is in the one chimpanzee, that little thing that they said looks like a galaxy, is actually like some kind of a source code to the Doctor.
Oh, like when they like the galaxy eyes?
Yeah. Like there's somehow either nanobots are going to be in him or something like that, where they're going to be able to figure out some kind of a code to these are probably like a closer bet for like Skinner and some other shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it feels very. I don't want to say like a filler episode. I don't think it was very fillery.
No, and the closest thing I'll say that this really reminds me of, especially because we've already covered it, is Sakamoto Days.
Oh yeah,
of where we had those transition episodes where maybe we would get some stuff, but it wasn't a big amount. Like, we knew that there would be another episode coming.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
No, with something like this, I really hope they don't do it too much with that.
No, yeah. You got to keep the story moving.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And it's just too, because like that works for Sakamoto Days. I don't think it would work for this, because it would make me think like if they did it with Bebop, then obviously there would be more problems of you trying to go, well, every episode's supposed to almost be standalone. Well, now it's not. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, every episode of Bebop wasn't standalone.
Well, I mean, most of them kind of were.
Most of them were, but all of them they're not.
They weren't like they didn't fit into like a storyline mold.
Not all of them, no. But the stories, some of the stories for the main characters bleeded over into other
Well,
episodes.
I mean, not that, not like they bleed over. I mean, like we had like the one with the what's his face, the laughing guy that dresses up as the floating clown.
Oh yeah,
You know, like what if that had
that
been
was a standalone episode.
yeah? What if that had been a 2-spread episode though?
Yeah,
You know, not something like, hey, well, Spike got in a fight with this guy. Now he's got a scar on his face. And then, 10 episodes later, he's got, the same scar on. You know what I'm saying? Not something that spills over. I'm talking about like congruently, this episode is related to this episode. It's an episode A and an episode B.
yeah. I hope they don't linger on this.
Yeah.
And like they just move forward and like they continue.
I also hope that they don't have this as like a thing where we never see this character again or like Popcorn Wizard.
No,
And
I
then,
think they'll show back up.
and then out of nowhere, like they come in at the end of the series and are like, "Hey, we're best friends. I'm here to help.
We're best friends." Oh, I could see that happening.
Yeah, like I mean, I fucking hate that trope
I could see that happening. No,
we're best friends. We've made friends. Like
they don't. She didn't seem like she kind of became friends with them. She seemed still kind of like antagonistic almost, or like somewhat of a respect with the other hacker, Eleina.
Yeah, I feel that way too, but I could see it bleeding into.
No, I mean they like to freaking do that all the time with like shonen stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we were Vegeta, big example. We were once enemies, but now we're good guys.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, we had time for that to build. Not
or it'd be like when Frieza turned good.
Frieza never turned good. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he did in Dragon Ball Super.
Frieza never turned good. What are you talking about?
From what I've heard, yeah, he does.
Frieza's always going to be a bad guy.
Okay. Well, okay, that's fine.
That's like saying Majin Buu's going to be a good guy at some point.
Majin Buu is a good guy.
Not the Super Buu.
But we're talking about Fat Buu.
Yeah, well, that's Fat Buu.
But Fat Boo's better than stupid, skinny Kid Buu. And we're not getting into a fucking Dragon Ball discussion right now, okay?
Let's do it. Dragon Ball Z. Da, na, 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 na.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
No. I mean,
I almost do that with this episodes for these though.
Last time on Lazarus.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt that this was like an okay episode. It wasn't my favorite out of the 5 we've watched so far.
No, and I really feel like we've watched more than 5, and I can't tell you why.
Maybe it's because we're watching week to week.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it's because we don't really have overarching storylines.
Yeah, it's just one follow-through story.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
I don't know. I want to see where this is going to go.
Yeah.
But yeah. Jen, where can they catch you?
You can catch me on Jen's Infinite Library or Jen Graves on YouTube. Jen's Infinite Library is on Instagram, or you can catch me at Bard's Tavern on Instagram, as well as, any Otakuology link.
You can also catch me at The Otaku Mike on YouTube and Instagram. And make sure to check out our YouTube channel. Go subscribe there. We just hit over 100 subscribers over there. Leave us a comment. Tell us how you found the show. Rate and review the show. It helps people find our podcast. That's the best way you can help. Make sure to listen to the podcast too. Tell your friends. Share the podcast. Stuff like that.
And if you haven't yet, Mike is in an award thing, so go to cbcawards.org and you can vote for Otaku Mike on, I would say, everything. He's going to say no because he doesn't fit part of the categories. They can roll him out on that, but you can fill him on everything. But we'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.